Hello and welcome back to the video series in which we are going to install all the desktop environments on Arch Linux in alphabetical order. And so last week we talked about the Budgie desktop, and this time we are going to be going with the Cinnamon desktop. If you go to the Arch wiki page of Cinnamon, you will find all the instructions that you might need for installation, and well, you will just have to install the Cinnamon package. And if you open this link and take a look at the Arch Linux packages page for the Cinnamon package, you will find all the dependencies. So it will install all this Cinnamon control central menu, screensaver, so all the basic things will be included. So in the Budgie desktop, you will have to install, for example, the screensaver separately and the file manager and the terminal separately. The Cinnamon desktop environment has Nemo, which is its default file manager, so you will have that. If you can, of course, install something else if you want something else instead of Nemo, but I don't see any terminal emulator in here, so we might have to deal with that separately in our installation process. So let's just go to our virtual machine. So in this virtual machine, we only have the DWM desktop, or what is it, window manager installed. And so this is not the same VM or a previous state of the same VM on which we installed the Budgie desktop. It does not have anything from the Budgie desktop installation. That was on a separate branch, let's say that. So let's sudo pacman-s cinnamon, and of course after giving our password it will list all the dependencies that it will want to install, and that is indeed a long list, but well, as I just said, we are having this very bare environment here, so let's take our time and let's install the Cinnamon desktop. And once it is done, I will boot into it and we will take a look at the, just the simple, the out-of-the-box experience you got with Cinnamon on Arch Linux. Alright, so it got installed and I rebooted the system, and we can see that we have Cinnamon and the Cinnamon software rendering. Unfortunately, it does not install a nice icon for the Cinnamon desktop environment here. But anyways, let's log into it and let's see what we get if we just bare install the Cinnamon package on our Arch Linux system. Alright, so of course Cinnamon complains about the lack of graphical acceleration in this virtual machine, which is unfortunate, I guess. So in this Cinnamon setup, we have a very nice black background. There is a clock and a calendar in the right-hand corner with some printer icon there. We get the icon for the Nemo file manager, so at least we got a file manager by default. And this is this button which will show you the empty desktop here, which I don't know, it's kind of a little weird, but it is what it is. We have the Nemo menu, which is kind of a, I don't know, maybe you could say it's like a Windows 10 or Windows 7 style. No, it's more close to the Windows 10 style, I guess. And you have a lot of new icons here, which mostly are related to setting up your system. So you could just open the system settings button, which is for some reason does not have an icon here. And this will show you all your possible settings that you can work with if you want to, instead of having to scroll through this preferences thing in alphabetical order. It's at least, collected in thematical order, and you can see the icons better and things like that. So let's do a few modifications to this desktop environment. First of all, we will have to install themes, so I will try to install the same themes and icons we had for the Budgie desktop, and I will do some customization, and we will go through what you can do with the Cinnamon desktop environment. And of course, I will also have to install a terminal emulator because the simple terminal does not appear in this menu, and Cinnamon does not install a terminal emulator for you by default. So let me boot back into DWM and let's install the necessary things. So back in DWM, I will be installing the GNOME terminal, the Arc GTK theme and Adapter GTK theme, and the Arc icon theme, which are the same themes that I installed last time, but I will also add in the Papyrus icon theme here because I heard somewhere that it is good. So let's install all of these and I will show you how the Cinnamon desktop looks with these themes and what can we do with it in a few seconds. Alright, so I themed the desktop environment here and we can see that we have a terminal working, we have the Nemo file manager looking nice here, and also the show desktop icon now actually looks something that you would expect the show desktop icon to look like. So what we have here is that in the system settings we have this themes button here which we can use to set the theme for all these things. So mouse pointers, I don't really care. I like the elevator icon, mouse pointers, and that's fine for me. We can switch around the window borders here. So if I want to switch to adapter, I can do this. I can switch the controls separately to adapter. Maybe if I want to do the light theme here, and also I need to separately switch the adapter theme here, which will affect, this says desktop, but it's basically affecting the panel and the calendar here. I like the adapter theme. I don't like this cyan accent color, so I use a customized one which has a green color on there. But anyways, the Arc theme is also quite nice, and so we can have these let's Arc dark here, looking quite nice. Yeah, I like it. The icons, Papyrus is one of the most popular ones that for some reason I haven't really used, and the Papyrus icon theme is going to give us finally the system settings icon here. So maybe Papyrus is the icon set that I should have installed with Budgie too. And but you know, Arc icon set looks reasonably well, but Papyrus much better. So one more thing that besides installing the system-wide themes through the Arch repositories or from the Arch repositories through Pacman, you could also install local user for the local users themes and icons, and that is generally you can do download it from the internet, put it in your .local/share/icons or /themes directories, but the Cinnamon desktop environment will have you this repository where you can just go through and sort this by popularity and download the themes that people like and try them out. And I downloaded two. One is the Windows XP theme, which is just gorgeously ugly. Even when I used Windows XP back in the day, I did not use their theme. I used the classic Windows theme. The Windows 10 theme looks a little bit more reasonable, I would say. It does not install icons for those two, but well, we can have a Windows 10 look if you really, that's why you switched to Linux to have a Windows 10 themed Cinnamon desktop environment. You can do that. So let me just stop this abomination and go back to the nice Arc theme here. Okay, so what else do we have on Cinnamon that we need to talk about? Well, a lot of things. So in the system settings, we have a lot of things we can screw around with. So let's go through the most important thing, which I think everyone, no matter what desktop environment you're gonna use, the panel is one of the things that you will want to customize. So here we have a panel customization setting, and this will become red to show that you are editing this panel, because you could add a new panel maybe on the top here for some reason, and then you can just switch around these panels. You might want to remove this panel. You can auto hide the panels if you want to, and or make them always hide. I don't really like to do that, especially not on a virtual machine. You can make it smaller, you can make it larger, depending on your personal preferences, I guess. You can edit the left, center, and right-hand side separately. So, for example, you can see that right-hand side has smaller icons, only 16 point, but the left hand has 28 point icons over there, and the center zone you can separately set these up. What else we can do is we can go to the panel edit mode. So you can see this is the center region, right hand side and left hand side region. So if you wanted to move your show the desktop icon in the middle, you can do that, but to try you have to turn the panel edit mode off. And well, I generally put this on the rightmost side because that's what this is something I got used to in Windows 10 actually. So what else do we have? In this panel edit mode, nothing much, but we can add and remove things from the panel if we just go and I guess go to the Applets. So this is, you could also go to this screen from the system settings, and there is the Applets window here. But why do we have it open twice? You shouldn't do that. So you could, maybe you don't need the calendar, you can remove it, or you can add it back, and now it's on the wrong place, but you can just turn on panel edit mode and drag it back where it belongs. So unlike in the Budgie desktop where you had to like go through this list and move them up and down, here you can just drag and drop once you are in panel edit mode. Some nice things to have is, for example, the Workspace Switcher. Because if you are using more than one workspaces, then having a workspace switcher is quite nice. And you can see like there is something on this workspace open with this gray area showing which parts of the workspace is covered by something. And if you have multiple terminals open here, for example, you can see that these icons will only show you which the applications that are open on the workspace you are currently on. So you might want to change that behavior by having a window list, or maybe you can just set up this window list, which is, what is this called? You have to find a grouped window list. So you can click on these gears here, which will open the grouped window list setting, and you can turn on the show windows from all workspaces. And in that case, you will see this small number 2 over here, and you will be able to just move to this terminal on the other workspace if you really want to do that. And, well, you can turn it on or off. I guess you can change what the mouse wheel will do once you are over the icon. So if I turn it on and I say cycle apps, then if I go through here, you will see that I'm going from terminal to group window list settings to terminal, home, applets. So you can see how we scroll through the windows, or the apps rather. And if I switch it to cycle windows, that will be different, because now on this, if I am over the terminal icon, I am only cycling through the terminal windows, and this one, only one window of Nemo is open, so there is nothing to cycle through. So these kind of things. There are many more settings for this. You can turn off the grouping, and now you have the 2 separate terminal icons over there. So these are, I guess, depending on what you want to achieve here. We could add the classical window list, which is this type of window list, which has the name of the window also on it. And you can also set this up. This also has a lot of settings, so workspace related things. So if you prefer this, you can remove the other and you just use this one. What is this? User applet access, account details, things like that. And you can also download applets from the repository. For example, I like the weather applet, that's quite nice. you can also have the redshift control, so this will tune the color of your screen. Once it gets dark outside, you want to, reduce the blue color from your screen, so your eyes will trigger your brain to go to sleep mode by seeing less blue light, I guess. You can also have a different kind of start menu, or what is it, application menu. Instead of this, you could just click on this button, the arrow here, and download this Cinnamon 7 menu. So we can turn this on here. Oh, and we added this menu on the right hand side, but whatever. So this is kind of a different style of menu. I don't really like this one, but some people like this more simple look than this big one. So you can have that on your Cinnamon desktop. And I think I talked about most important things from this Applets, but Cinnamon also offers you desktop icons. So if for some reason you really like to have desktop icons, you can go to any kind of program here and say add to desktop, and you will have like this icon file in your desktop folder in your home directory, which will also appear on your desktop. It's almost like magic. One other thing to do, interesting things like that, is to go back to our system settings, and we can go to desklets. So desklets, while applets are on your panels, desklets go onto your screen. So if you want a bigger clock, you can enable the clock desklet, for example. I don't know why would you want to do that, but maybe you need a clock on your desktop. Same with digital photo frame. You can have a launcher, which is kind of interesting, but you don't really understand how it's supposed to work. Once you add the launcher here, you can edit this launcher and make an application or add a custom application like simple terminal and just run the ST program with it. I say OK and I click on this. No? Why is it still open? Why is it opening the system settings? So weird. I guess the icon for it is the system setting icon. It has the... Yeah, let's custom application, simple terminal, ST, terminal. Okay, terminal icon. Great. Will you change it? Yeah, as I said, I don't really understand how this is supposed to work. It definitely seems like it does not. So let's get rid of this launcher. And instead, let's take a look what else we can install. So you can have a different type of clock, note, time and date, analog chronometer, which is just another word for clock. You can put the weather on your desktop, CPU load, disk space. These are the kind of things that some people want on their desktop. And you can have a command result desklet. I guess you could install this and let's take a look what it actually does. Calendar, network usage monitor, host check, a lot of things you can find here. Let's add this one and let's take a look. What can we do with this? Configure. So for configuration, label, command, some version, hostname. Okay, so we could basically add a new command here, maybe system, and the command will be neofetch, because why do we have neofetch? No, we don't have neofetch installed on this system. That's a shame. We should do something about that. Where is my terminal? And while we install this, yeah, this was really quick. So let's just configure this. Neofetch. Okay, so now this works, but this is like a very weird neofetch result. Oh, it does not work well with the colors. Alright, that's a shame. So I guess we can just go to uname instead. Anyways, so these are the kind of things you can have as desklets. These are interactive things you put on your desktop, and you can install them from this nice repository here. So these are kind of the many things that you can extend your desktop environment experience with. There are also more things about where are extensions. So we had extra apps on your panel, we had extra apps on your desktop, and we can have extensions which will give you like gtile, for example, for more efficient tiling of your apps. You can place a watermark on your desktop if you want to do that. Desktop cube, if that's what you're looking for. These are all in here in the extensions, and you can find the ones that will make your desktop experience more unique, more useful. Some other settings that you might want to take a look at is like Windows settings here. If for some reason you want to put your window decorations on the left-hand side, or you want only to have an X icon, classic Mac, X is on the left-hand side, other things on the right-hand side. These are all available for you. You can change the Alt-Tab behavior, because currently the default behavior of Alt-Tab is, I think, the icons and thumbnails, which is kind of the GNOME style of doing things. You can have the thumbnails only, which is the Windows 10 style, and icons only, which is old Windows style. Icons and window preview, that's I'm not sure what does it like this, but anyways, you have that. You have window preview, no icons. That is kind of the most basic cover flow. If you want to, give a strain on your system, especially on your virtual machine. You can set up, if you want, all windows from all workspaces or whatever. These are nice. Window tiling, you can set up some tiling. And for tiling, it is actually quite nice to set up some shortcuts. So here you could go to the shortcuts menu, Windows, tiling and snapping. So you could snap to the left, snap to the right, things like that if you want to tile your windows on your Cinnamon desktop environment. And I think we've covered all the bases here. So this is the Cinnamon desktop. I really liked it. I used it a lot. This was my second choice after the Budgie desktop environment, and I ended up liking it more than the Budgie desktop environment because of the customizations. And if I, for some reason, couldn't use a window manager, I would probably go with the Cinnamon desktop. But we only took a look at 2 of the available desktop environments on Arch Linux, and we will take a look at all of them in the future. So if you want to see more of these type of videos, you will have to subscribe to this channel. And I don't know what else to say to you. Leave a comment if you have anything you think I left out from this review, and like the video if you enjoyed it. You can add this, I made a new playlist for this series. If you want to just go through these in the future, you will be able to if you add the playlist to your own. And I will see you in the next video, I guess. So, bye bye.